Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy Memento Mori 2. Znajdujemy się w sali konferencyjnej. Na ścianie jest ekran z projektora, a my musimy bliżej przyjrzeć się tym zdjęciom. Musimy je przeanalizować. Tutaj mamy pilot do projektora.
This is used to control the projector.
Okej. Dobra, połączmy pilot z ekranem.
Something in that painting is familiar to me, but where did I see it?
Well, I suppose that you've seen hundreds of paintings in your work.
No, not like that. This is different.
No dobra, co my tutaj mamy? Możemy przycisnąć przycisk dalej, przycisk wstecz, bądź przycisk drukuj. Tutaj mamy też jakiś włącznik.
So what will help us to find out what did happen in here?
Okej, mamy wskaźnik laserowy. No dobra, czy my coś tutaj znajdziemy? Ogólnie widać, że to zdjęcie jest pod ultrafioletem.
That painting is fascinating, but we're looking for something else now.
A jak dobrze wiecie, pod ultrafioletem widać ślady krwi. Tylko nie widzę tutaj nigdzie jasnych punktów, które by mogły sugerować, że ta krew gdzieś tutaj jest.
That paint,
Ten obraz jest fascynujący.
an alcove with a smooth wall. I don't know what it could tell us right now.
Okej.
That painting.
Tutaj też widać, że są jakieś schody na górę. Ale serio, nie widzę nic tutaj interesującego. Przełączmy zdjęcie do przodu. O, mamy ślady krwi.
The blood, the overthrown chair. We probably agree that there's some story behind it.
I looked at it too, but what do you want to find there?
It seems that one of the victims was sitting at the table and then either overthrew the culprit or hit him on the back with the chair, knocking them down.
Exactly, and that blood smear is perhaps from dragging the person off the chair. There is no blood around. The chair stayed as it fell. I suppose that the victim was not defending himself after the fall, possibly even dead beforehand.
Shouldn't there be more blood?
Very good question. Maybe the wound was covered by something. Bleeding into the clothing?
No, maybe you're not seeing this clearly, but there are some tiny spots on the table. I think it's blood too.
And that means...
O ofierze podcięto gardło, ofiarę zraniono w serce, coś innego. Gdyby ofierze podcięto gardło, na pewno tej krwi byłoby dużo więcej. Wiecie, przerwana tętnica, krew byłaby też w ciemnym kolorze, więc od razu pierwszą opcję jestem w stanie wykreślić. Ofiarę zraniono w serce, coś innego. Kurde, nie wiem jak wygląda krew po zadaniu ciosu w serce. Mógłbym powiedzieć, że coś innego, ale jednak widać tam ślady krwi, czyli ofiara na pewno została zabita. Dobra, wybiorę ofiarę zranioną w serce.
In my opinion, the victim received a heart injury. I find it the most probable explanation.
What?
Listen, I think it does make sense. Let's say that the victim was shot in the heart. The blood would spurt once or twice from the wound. That could be on the table, then the heart stopped beating.
So it would make the blood stop circulating and the bleeding would stop almost immediately.
Yes. If we could analyze that blood, we might be able to point out more accurately the place of the hit.
Don't you want to take this to pathology?
These things are well known. Non-oxygenated blood is dark. Oxygenated is light. That's how you know which ventricle it comes from.
Okej, czyli Lara potwierdziła to, co ja powiedziałem wcześniej. Mamy też jakiś... nie wiem, czy to jest torebka, czy to jest kask?
And what about that helmet?
The victim could have worn it on his head, and when falling to the floor, the helmet fell and spinned off.
I can't imagine that. I think that it probably stayed on his head lying on the floor.
Of course, that's more likely.
Or the victim wasn't wearing it at all, and it fell off the table. I think we can't come to any conclusion about that.
Okej.
An overthrown chair. Interesting, but not what I'm looking for. We have discussed this.
Czy coś jeszcze tutaj znajdę? No są ewidentnie na stole ślady krwi.
There are tools on the table. It seems like stuff commonly used by structural engineers. It seems to be bloodless in the photo. Anyway, we're not interested in it right now.
Dobra, wydaje mi się, że niczego więcej już tutaj nie znajdę. Kolejne zdjęcie. Tutaj nie widać żadnych śladów krwi. Jest otwarta brama, więc możliwe, że tędy napastnicy dostali się do środka. Ale przeklikuję cały ten obraz i niczego Lara nie jest w stanie skomentować. Okej. Kolejny jakiś malunek na ścianie. Interesujące są te łapki, jak w Blair Witch Project.
Those wings might be really important, but not just now.
No, ciekawe. I kolejny obraz. Pewnie jego dalsza część.
Those wings might be really important, but not just... The lily is quite a common symbol in medieval paintings. Not that it helps us now.
Okej. Tu wygląda, jakby był jakiś taki inny, ciemniejszy punkt, nie? Czy tam nawet jaśniejszy. Tak jakby się wyróżniał na tle całego obrazu.
Those wings might be really important, but not just now.
Nie mam zielonego pojęcia, o co chodzi z tymi skrzydłami. Czy ja będę to w stanie wydrukować?
If I want to print, I'll do it at the end of the presentation.
Okej. No i kolejny obraz ze skrzydłami.
Those wings might... Those wings...
O! A tutaj już mamy odbite łapki.
Those prints are really interesting, but I'm looking for something else.
No właśnie, zastanawia mnie. Zastanawia mnie, dlaczego te łapki zostały odciśnięte na ścianie. Ogólnie to wygląda jak odciśnięte łapki dzieci. Może to jest jakieś nawiązanie do Blair Witch? O, mamy nowe miejsce zbrodni. Miejsce zanumerowane 02. Jest Biblia.
There's a lot of blood here. The perpetrator left the victim to lie here for a long period of time.
Yeah, seems like it.
But you said yourself that if the heart stopped beating quickly, the blood would stop flowing.
No, I didn't say that. The blood stopped circulating, but of course it keeps on flowing. Slowly, from higher to lower parts. Let's sum up. We know the probable cause of death of one of the victims, hit in the heart.
But wounded by what?
Could have been a shot.
Istnieją dowody na strzelaninę. Strzały są nieprawdopodobne. Gdyby były tam jakieś strzały, to obstawiam, że śledczy znaleźliby jakieś łuski na ziemi. Niczego takiego nie znaleźli. Nie znaleźli też żadnego narzędzia zbrodni, tak mi się przynajmniej wydaje. Ale obstawiam, że nie chodzi tutaj o strzelaninę. Jeżeli była to jakaś sekta, to oni na pewno posługiwali się inną bronią, być może jakiś sztylet.
I didn't notice anything indicating a shooting, and there's nothing in the report. Diego?
I don't find it probable. If there was a shot to the heart, the chair elbow might be damaged too.
Not necessarily. If the culprit was shooting from an angle, the bullet could get caught by the vertebrae, spine. But I'd put the shooting aside for now.
So the murderer stabbed the victim in the heart. Why would he do that? To get some blood for painting? He'd have something to keep it in.
Of course he had. But if he wanted mainly the blood, he would more likely cut an artery. This seems rather ritualistic.
Ritual or not, what about those other two? Were they only onlookers? That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe they weren't actually conscious.
You're thinking about that gas from the report? Laura, did you get that?
Technicy zatruli się gazem. Technicy nie zatruli się gazem. Obstawiam, że ta druga opcja.
John is talking about the gas, but he's wrong. The report clearly says that it's non-toxic, and so they couldn't have been poisoned by it, and it would have poisoned the suspect too.
Okay, was the FBI interested in something else besides that painting?
They want to know if the crime could have some religious motive.
So we should search through those photos and try to find evidence either supporting or controverting that hypothesis.
Let's have a look at it.
No, mamy tutaj Biblię, na pewno.
If I'm not mistaken, this open book is a Bible, definitely a crucial sign.
And how do you know that it hadn't been lying there before the crime? You think that the offender left it there?
Do you see that blood? It seems that it's even under the Bible. It's obvious that the Bible fell on the floor after the blood was already there.
You're probably right.
No, mamy też ten krzyż.
It looks like a decorated cross, doesn't it? You could hardly find a more distinctive religious symbol.
You're right, but I think that doesn't prove anything. Someone just moved across here that could have been damaged during the earthquake.
Yes, I'd agree that it's not related.
Okej. Mamy Biblię, mamy krzyż. Tutaj chyba na tym zdjęciu już niczego więcej nie odkryjemy. Tu też mamy cienie krzyży.
I'd have expected the culprit to use a thinner paintbrush, but that's not relevant now.
Są kolejne ślady krwi. Ale wiecie co? Jeżeli mamy tutaj określić jakiś motyw religijny, to obstawiam, że chodzi o te zdjęcia z tymi aniołami.
An alcove with a smooth wall. I don't know what it could tell us right now. That painting is fascinating, but we're looking for something else now.
No bo kiedy na nie klikałem, no to Lara komentowała skrzydła, tak?
This figure has wings.
Sure, quite clearly visible ones.
If I want to print,
Okej. Tu też jest anioł ze skrzydłami.
more wings.
An angel?
Most likely. The lily is quite a common symbol in medieval paintings.
No i tutaj jest kolejny anioł ze skrzydłami.
And here,
No need to comment on what is obvious. A third pair of wings, and that fourth figure has them too.
As I said, angels. 4 different angels. Lara, why are you looking like that?
these are not 4 different angels. I can see that now. These are angels from 4 different paintings with an Annunciation theme. Not one painting, but part of 4 different ones.
Are you sure? How do you know?
Max painted a copy of one of them. That's why it was familiar to me. I can remember the other 2 now. I've seen them before in other paintings, and the last one won't be an exception.
Annunciation. So the angel, that's probably Gabriel.
Archangel Gabriel? The guardian angel?
According to recent interpretations, but according to the Old Testament, this is the Archangel Gabriel, the angel of death.
That doesn't sound good. At least not for those missing engineers.
No, it doesn't. Max dreamed of him often. But that was before the...
Lara, if you want, we can take a break.
No need, thanks. I was just thinking. So, let's sum up. We have that painting consisting of parts of 4 other paintings with religious themes, and the culprit used a Bible after the crime. Maybe it's part of it. In my opinion, this is quite clear evidence that religion figures significantly in this.
Excellent, Lara. Really good work.
Can we get on with the important work, or should we just congratulate ourselves?
That painting. It's really strange, isn't it? Have you noticed that there are more detailed areas? Some touches are quite thin and precise.
And why is it strange that he painted some stuff in detail?
You have to look more closely. I'll show you.
Okej, muszę przyjrzeć się temu bliżej.
We have discussed this.
Może teraz chodzi o to zdjęcie z pędzlem. Czekajcie, gdzie to było? Tutaj.
Jean, do you see that brush? That thick and rough brush? Would you use it for this painting?
Even more the composition. Added to that an amazing visual memory.
Whoever painted this was pretty talented and experienced. It definitely was not their first painting.
But there's still something strange about it. Besides the fact that some madman painted it, with human blood.
There's something about the painting, isn't there? I can feel it too. Let's try to find it.
No dobra, spróbujmy ustalić, co z tym zdjęciem jest nie tak.
We have discussed this.
Już to omówiliśmy, muszę znaleźć coś innego. Może te łapki teraz będą istotne. Czekajcie, gdzie to było? Tutaj.
Those handprints. Strange, aren't they?
That's it. Those handprints. There was nothing in the report about fingerprints, so he had to be wearing gloves. But the main point...
Why was he so particular about the painting and was still destroying it by handprints at the same time?
Good question. I suppose you have some hypothesis of your own.
Sprawca musiał się oprzeć, odciski wykonano celowo. Nie próbuj zgadywać, wysłuchaj innych. Wiecie co, wydaje mi się, że odciski zostały wykonane celowo. To było coś w stylu takiego, wiecie, podpisu tego artysty. Sprawca musiał się oprzeć.
I know that this might sound weird, but I think that he left those prints there on purpose. Do you see how pronounced they are? I think he soaked a hand in blood for every one of them.
It's pretty crazy, but I have to agree with you on this. Andy was holding a brush in one hand. If he didn't do it on purpose, there wouldn't be prints of both palms.
So we found out a few things. Do you have any other ideas?
Maybe the placing of that painting. It could be significant somehow.
You think? I think he found a piece of blank wall and painted it there.
I think it's too complicated. I'll show you something in those pictures.
Okej, pewnie teraz chodzi o to zdjęcie z tą wnęką w ścianie.
Do you see this place? Completely smooth plastering. This alcove is clearly suitable for some painting, and he paints just next to it, on a cobbly brick wall.
Can you see any purpose in it?
I'm almost sure, and what's more, I might be wrong, but I recall two of those paintings. Those angels are not turned like this.
And you mean by it?
I mean that the place where he created the painting might have some purpose, but the placing of each part might have some purpose too. The FBI will surely be interested. Jean, put together the paintings with the Annunciation theme, and then we'll see what comes of it.
Jimenez, help him. Lara and I have to discuss something. Great. We finally have some time to talk. Lara, Diego has told me about your letter of resignation. Are you really sure you want to do that?
Główna postać stanęła właśnie przed jedną z kluczowych decyzji. Podjęty wybór zdefiniuje jej podstawę oraz przekonania. Choć skutki decyzji nie muszą być oczywiste w momencie jej podejmowania, niektóre z nich mogą w istotny sposób wpłynąć na dalsze losy postaci. Wręcz rezygnację, nie wręczaj rezygnacji. No naprawdę trudna decyzja. Nie mam zielonego pojęcia, co bym miał tutaj wybrać. Z jednej strony przez tą pracę straciliśmy Maxa i tak dalej, ale z drugiej strony może ta praca pomogłaby Larze się otworzyć. Może dzięki temu, że prowadzi to śledztwo, mogłaby poznać prawdę, co tak naprawdę z Maxem się stało. Dlatego ja uważam, że nie będziemy wręczać rezygnacji, będziemy prowadzili to śledztwo w dalszym ciągu.
I should wait before quitting. Even more so because of that strange case. But is there any point in going on? The memories of Max will haunt me forever here.
Nie wręczaj rezygnacji drugi raz.
No, I've thought better of it. For now, if nothing more, I want to see this case solved.
It's the right decision, really. You know, we two won't ever be the best of friends. Your methods are a little unorthodox too often for my taste.
But they bring results.
Yes, and because we have no better person for your position, you should continue to lead here.
You won't find anyone with whom you'll be comfortable. We both know why.
As you're speaking openly, so will I, Lara. I wrested independency for this department, and now I'm spending all my time just trying to get it some decent funding. I should be the boss here.
None of us has everything we want.
You're right.
To była dziwna rozmowa z Renier, ale okej. Mamy tutaj nasze notatki, cennik, akta Argo. Okej, statystyki, mam 81%, czyli nie jest tak źle. 81%. Mogę się jeszcze raz przyjrzeć temu obrazowi. Wiecie co? Wydaje mi się, że teraz powinienem wydrukować obrazy z tymi aniołami.
This photo surely will be useful in the search. Yes, that photo will be useful. This photo surely will be useful in the search. Yes, that photo will be useful.
Okej.
It's useless to print that. There's nothing there that could help me in...
Dobra, wydaje mi się, że te 4 zdjęcia aniołów mi w zupełności wystarczą. Ale teraz powinienem wyjść do wydziału. I z tego co pamiętam, mieliśmy tutaj faks, czy kserokopiarkę. Też mogę podejść do swojego biurka. Ale w pierwszej kolejności chciałbym podejść do drukarki i sprawdzić, czy te zdjęcia tutaj wyszły.
Great, the photos aren't here. Well, I'll take care of it myself. I don't need to call the technicians to tell me that after mending it for an hour, there was a sheet of paper stuck inside.
Okej, mamy error 01, czyli zaciął się papier.
I'd better not...
Dobra, muszę zobaczyć, na jakiej zasadzie to działa. Tutaj mamy jakiś czerwony przycisk.
Now it should be possible to remove the printer cover. See? There really is paper jammed inside.
Skąd ja to znam? Też bardzo często zacina mi się papier.
I can't pull the paper out. It's jammed under the toner. Weird, it won't move a bit.
Musi być gdzieś tutaj jakaś blokada.
The safety lock is released, so it's possible to take the toner out. Now I'm removing the toner. Right, the jammed paper is out. I can't see any other problem.
No, ale teraz powinniśmy tuner włożyć z powrotem.
It surely won't print without toner. There's no need to remove... There's no sense...
Okej. Mam nadzieję, że to zadziała. Ale w dalszym ciągu mamy error.
I'd better not touch that. God only knows what might happen. The printer is working. These photos weren't easy to get. Hopefully it will be worth the effort. Here are the photos I printed.
Wydrukowane zdjęcia aniołów. Ale w jaki sposób mielibyśmy je przeanalizować? Poczekajcie. Cofnijmy się na chwilę do recepcji i spróbujmy porozmawiać z sekretarką.
Suzanne?
Yes, Laura?
Spotkanie.
So, how did it go? That case seems to be big, doesn't it?
Definitely, but a little too much blood for my taste, as well as those weird details.
If anyone can solve this, you can. Who else?
No tak, Lara jest najlepsza. Nie oszukujmy się. Nie ma Diego. Gdzieś poszedł. Do mojego biura. Ktoś tutaj stoi. O, jest Kutu i jest Diego.
This time we have to be really particular about it.
It seems to me it makes Renier quite nervous. I'd say she's under pressure from the bosses to show off to those Americans.
To get the catalog was quite easy. What are we going to do next?
Whatever it takes.
Wszystko, co konieczne. Porównanie obrazów ze zdjęciami. O, to może być kluczowe. A, B, C, D.
I won't find the correct...
Dobra, wiecie co? Ja mam te obrazy w ekwipunku. Dlatego ja sobie je wybiorę i położę tutaj.
So let's see if we can find something interesting.
If you find some similarities, then insert a note with the letter of that particular photo to that page.
But we'll all look at it, won't we?
No chance. We don't want to restrain your clever mind. After all, you've shown you're in the same form as before the break.
Yeah, it will be good to know our boss is on the ball.
Okej, czyli będziemy mieli test na spostrzegawczość. Czy ten obrazek jest podobny do tego? Czy ma jakieś wspólne cechy? Nie wydaje mi się.
It's Barocci too. He made this painting several years later. It's almost identical to the previous one, but I see some differences there.
Okej. Drugie zdjęcie. Szukamy takiego elementu na zdjęciu. Czy coś znajdziemy? Tu nic nie ma. Tu też nic nie ma podobnego. Okej, no nie, jest w troszeczkę innej pozycji. Kurde, ile tych obrazów tutaj jest. O, właśnie. Spójrzcie na tą postać, jest aureolka, tu też mamy aureolkę, długie włosy, no i ta ręka jest niemal wyciągnięta w tą samą stronę.
To identify a painting, I probably should use the tags with letters on them.
Okej. Dobra. Kolejny obraz. Szukamy podobieństwa. O, 15 obrazów. No dobra, nie ma nic więcej, czyli możemy się cofnąć. Tu nie widzę nic podobnego. Tutaj ten anioł i ten anioł. No nie, troszeczkę innej pozycji. Ten ogólnie wygląda, jakby leciał w powietrzu. Tu też nie widzę żadnego powiązania. Okej. No mógłby powiedzieć, że to jest to, ale powinien być odwrócony w drugą stronę. Dzieci raczej tutaj nie ma. To nie będzie ten obraz. Tutaj też nie. To i to podobne, ale nie do końca. O właśnie, może tutaj znajdziemy podobieństwo.
To identify a painting, I probably should use the tags with letters on them.
No wydaje mi się, że to i to jest podobne. Na razie zaznaczymy sobie tutaj literkę C, a jeżeli błędnie oznaczymy te obrazy, to po prostu się cofniemy i będziemy ustawiali to w odpowiedni sposób. Dobra, ten anioł jest strasznie niewyraźny. Ciężko mi będzie dopasować do niego jakiś obraz. Ale ten anioł jest odwrócony w lewą stronę, więc wszystkie te anioły z obrazu, które są obrócone w prawą stronę, od razu mogę wykluczyć. Też tak, jakby leciał w powietrzu. Czy to jest podobne do tego? No, biorąc pod uwagę kształt skrzydła, to bym mógł powiedzieć, że to jest ten obraz. Ale z drugiej strony nie odpowiada mi pozycja, bo ten jest bardziej pochylony, a ten na stojąco. Okej. Czy to może być to? Raczej nie. Tutaj mamy nakrycie głowy i nie ma skrzydeł. O! Tutaj ręka idzie w tą stronę, ręka idzie w tą stronę. Skrzydło odpowiada temu kształtu i ta pelerynka też jest tutaj widoczna. No dobra, spróbujmy.
So?
All parts of that wall painting represent various paintings with the motif of the Annunciation.
So it's really the work of some fanatic. Those technicians are dead.
So far, no one has said they're dead. Not all of them, anyway.
That's not important now. We have to check it out one more time so we don't overlook anything, not the smallest thing.
Do you mean anything particular?
Szczegóły na zdjęciach, krew, technika malarska.
Hasn't it occurred to you how much those paintings resemble the original? It can't have been easy to do it from memory. Did he have a copy with him? Those proportions. In fact, everything. That man has been painting for a long time. He definitely knows what he's doing.
Interesting point. I'll surely add that to the report.
But that gets us back to those technicians. I've already heard about Argo. They aren't common structural engineers or technicians. Most of them do restoration. And they may be able to do something like that.
In the meantime, I'll try to get more info about those paintings.
I'll try to find something too.
Right. I'm going to do that report. It won't write itself.
O, zaczyna się robić naprawdę interesująco. Mamy też nowy wpis w naszym dzienniku. Akta Zargo, dokumenty FBI, cennik e-mail od przyjęcia Diego, lista drinków. Mamy 90%, czyli robimy postępy. Brakuje nam tak naprawdę 10%.
We'll try to be as brief as possible. No one ever bothers to read long reports. All right, it's done. Let's see what Diego and Kotu have managed to put together so far.
O, Lara, nawet szybko ci to poszło.
It was a terrible...
Ale dobra. Cofnijmy się zatem do Diego i spróbujmy z nim porozmawiać. Co udało im się ustalić?
2 tickets landed on my desk yesterday for an
So?
I have something here. I've added it to Kotu's findings, but it's not much. If you find it interesting, send it together with the report.
Well, there are a couple of interesting things there.
Okej. Informacja na temat obrazów. Dosyć sporo tekstu, ale powiedzmy, że spauzujcie film i przeczytajcie sobie to sami. Ja jestem przed pracą i każda sekunda jest dla mnie na wagę złota. Ja oczywiście też zapoznam się z tym raportem, ale to już poza nagraniem, kiedy będę montował film. Domenico Di Paco, mistrz bawarski, Filippe de... Aha, czyli mamy tutaj opisane te obrazy, tak? No dobra.
Max's name connected with those paintings? What does it mean? Why now? Why just now? Why can't I have a little rest? Even chance conspires against me. Or maybe not. But what could it be? An omen?
Are you all right?
What?
I just want to know if you're all right. You're as pale as a sheet. Maybe you should have some rest. It's your first day here, after all. Why stress yourself? Go home, get some sleep. Me and Kotu will manage somehow. In fact, everything is almost done. We only have to send it.
Would you really take care of that report? I could use a bit of rest, that's for sure.
Sure, I just need to send it. Don't knock yourself out. I don't want to regret persuading you to return to the job.
Something's going on, Diego. Something really weird. Do you think you could omit the irrelevant things from the summary? We don't need to flood the FBI with information having, in fact, no connection with the case.
Irrelevant stuff, but I told you. I see, of course, irrelevant stuff connected to someone. Understood. Why confuse them more than necessary, right? I'll adjust that.
Laura, I almost forgot. Someone called you.
Okej, ktoś do mnie dzwonił. Ale wiecie, co sobie teraz tak myślę? Może Max też był związany w jakiś sposób z tymi rytuałami. Był malarzem z tego, co udało nam się dowiedzieć. Miał też te dziwne wizje. Może Max został w jakiś sposób opętany i też był powiązany z tą sektą. Nie wiem, może mordował ludzi. Kto wie?
Suzanne?
Yes, Laura?
Telefon.
Who wanted to talk to me?
Someone called and asked if you were here, speaking quite strangely. I thought maybe he was South African. My roommate has been dating one recently, so I listen to it almost daily.
Wasn't the name Jabali? Didn't they mention the name Leclerc?
They didn't introduce themselves, but yes, I think they mentioned the second name. And then something about having information for you. But when they were told you couldn't answer the phone immediately, they simply hung up. Didn't even give their number.
But I really need that information.
The exchange is manned by Muriel today. Maybe she'll tell you where they called from.
Okej, czyli byśmy musieli się udać do centrali. Tutaj mamy salę konferencyjną. Do biur. A tam prawdopodobnie udamy się do centrali. Tak mi się przynajmniej wydaje. Nie chciałem opuszczać tego miejsca. Tutaj mamy Kutu.
Any woman would gladly throw herself at you for those tickets.
I don't have any...
Do sali konferencyjnej. Ale gdzie w takim razie udać się do centrali?
A while ago, I posted a memo discussing how meetings should be as effective as possible. I suspect that no one has actually read it.
Tutaj nie ma dalej przejścia. No dobra. Jedyne, gdzie mogę się udać, to do swojego biura tak naprawdę. Ale stąd też nie było przejścia do centrali. Chyba że muszę skorzystać z telefonu i tam zadzwonić.
Operator.
Hey, Laura.
Hey. I heard about what happened. I'm so sorry. Do you need anything? Should I drop by in the evening?
Thanks, but let's leave it for next time, shall we? Right now, I need you to help me here at work. Someone called in, but they didn't leave a message.
Uh-huh. And what exactly do you need me to do?
Ustal informacje kontaktowe, gdy ta osoba znowu zadzwoni. Przekieruj rozmowy na mój telefon komórkowy. Sprawdź numer, spod którego do mnie dzwoniono.
Would you be able to find out what number the call came from?
Of course. Or do you think my computer is here just to play solitaire?
You're great, thanks.
You're welcome. I'm gonna find the last number they called you from, and I'll put you through right away.
Durand here, the Office of Art Theft Investigation. Someone called me from this number?
It is Durand.
Miss Durand, I'm glad to hear you again.
Zanzele? Where are you calling from?
I'm closer than you would expect. I've come to Lyon. I'm going to attend the opening of an exhibition. Very old and very strange things.
I see. Anything new at home? Anything at all?
I'm afraid nothing you'd like to hear. But I need to talk to you anyway. Come to my flat anytime. It's just next to the Interpolu.
I'm sorry, but maybe some other time. I'm really busy at the moment.
We have such an old saying in my homeland. One who hides his illness has no medicine. And there's something to it, don't you think? Come. Come, my dear. It's important that we have a talk, very important.
It was a terrible amount of work to get the whole department running. Even now I can't believe I managed to do it in less than a year.
Okej, czyli Zenzele przyleciała do Francji. Chce się z nami spotkać, a to ciekawe. Jestem ciekaw, jakich cennych informacji się dowiemy. Mieszkanie Zenzele.
Madam is exhausted from the journey. You have to wait. Well, and that stuff around here. They're rare things, so try not to make fun of them, all right?
Sure, Jabali. I see our sympathies are mutual. Zanzele has really weird decorations here. Very valuable, but a bit morbid. Almost all that's shown here is somehow connected with death.
Ale znowu mieszkanie w stylu afrykańskim. Dobra, możemy się tutaj swobodnie rozejrzeć.
There's a vase with a face in the showcase. This kind of art is quite common in Africa.
Przynajmniej na tą chwilę, dopóki Zenzele nie dojdzie do siebie. Mityczne statuetki.
Those damn statuettes. Why did she leave them here? Does she want me to notice them? If it weren't for those statuettes, Max would... I shouldn't have listened to Renier. I shouldn't...
They say that anger and wrath are destructive. It was never true, and it's not true now. Anger is better than resignation. Such a flame may get you far, Laura, but you must control it. Let it burn only where it's needed.
That's why you invited me? Did I rush here only to listen to a lecture on good behavior? You know well why I've come.
Forgive me. I understand your concern with only one thing, I wish I had a good news for you, but it is not meant to be. They still haven't found Max's body, but nevertheless I brought you something. An amulet.
But that's his amulet. He had it on him.
Washed up by the sea. I'll give it to you, but I'd like to ask you for something. I want to help you, but you must believe me. Do you believe, Laura?
In what?
You know in what. Do you believe in Max?
How many days since he's been away? How often waking from dreams where all is as it was? Haven't I been tortured enough? Give me that amulet and I'll go.
The amulet is not an ordinary trinket. It's a powerful thing. A thing with its own story, with its soul. With a strong tie because it was given out of love. I know a ritual old and powerful that we may perform. We could summon his soul.
His soul? It means that he's dead?
Some things resist being described with the words of this world, my dear. We can't define all things, store them in a nice box with a tag. Is the color gray more white or black? So how do you decide?
Max żyje. Pozwól spoczywać Maxowi w spokoju. Wiecie co, wydaje mi się, że Max mimo wszystko żyje.
Do you expect me to sit at this table with you and play spooky games? Summon those souls of yours, but you won't find him. He's alive somewhere and will return to me. He'll come back to me when the right time comes.
Oh, that unfailing human fate. Great thing. Tell me, if Max was really alive, what if he's changed? Views, values that you shared. None of that is unchanging.
He couldn't have changed so much that I'd stop loving him.
Be careful with that word, my dear. Never is too powerful for someone who doesn't see far.
Trochę mnie przeraża ta zęzele. Możemy porozmawiać z Jabali.
Strange name, Jabali.
Strange name, Larissa.
Touché. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Jabali, that is the present. The past remains in the grey dust of Nyanga. Together with that name, I no longer remember. And I don't want to. Do you know what Nyanga is? It was she who pulled me from that hell. A young boy who was skilled with a knife. She never asked what I'd done, what a mess I'd left behind. She's a saint, miss. What would I become without her? How shall I repay it all to her? She hasn't much time left. It's not fair.
I would say what you're doing is already enough, and I think she sees it that same way.
Czy jeszcze możemy na jakiś temat porozmawiać?
Maybe you're used to manipulating people, but I recognize when someone's hiding something from me.
Now I don't understand you. What do you want from me?
Prawda o Maxie, prawda o zęzele. Koniec rozmowy.
You know if Max is still alive, don't you?
You think I'm tormenting you willfully? If you hear the voice of one of those singers of yours from the other room now, does it mean they are there or not? It may be a radio, but doesn't have to be. Some questions just don't have a clear answer, not even for me.
Prawda o zęzele.
Who are you? I mean, really.
I'm an old woman from an old family who is not going to be here much longer. And maybe I sometimes see a bit further than others.
So it's voodoo.
Why do you need to know everything? To understand everything? Your own aunt has a gift that you can't explain. So you stop asking questions, but you still have it somewhere in your head.
Who told you that? Have you had Jabali get information about me?
That is enough.
Wait, she doesn't mean it badly. She knows it's not like that, doesn't she? But to allow you to sleep well, yes, Jabali found it out.
Okej.
Can I ask one more question?
You came to my missus and not to me, didn't you? So make use of her time when she gives it to you.
Z Jabali nie mamy już żadnych tematów do obgadania. Zenzele pewnie też mi już nic więcej nie powie.
We'll talk later.
Certainly. Our paths aren't going to part for some time. You'll see.
Okej.
For someone like Zenzele, such a thing is invaluable, although it looks like it wouldn't be a problem for Jabali to carry her anywhere.
No dobra, wydaje mi się, że niczego więcej już w tej lokacji zrobić nie będziemy mogli.
Another depiction of Anubis. Zenzele's fascination. I can see deep slashes on it. It's obviously no dummy. I certainly won't leave Max's amulet here.
A, no tak, mieliśmy wziąć amulet. Amulet, który leży na stole. Jest to amulet Maxa.
That amulet. Not many people know the true value of things. Only a few understand their true essence. The magic they hide in themselves. If you try to sell it, how much do you think you'll get?
I wouldn't sell it, never. He's going to take it back someday.
Sure, you wouldn't sell it. For anybody else, it would have value of maybe several hundred rands. But for you, you feel the magic, the fine spider web woven into it.
All he ever had, what he touched, has now a completely different value.
And moreover, what about the stuff he intentionally put a part of himself in?
Why all these riddles? Do you mean his paintings?
Maybe. A painting is a window to the soul, Laura. I think you would be silly not to look at it very closely. Maybe you will see his thoughts in it.
Let's stop it, okay? I don't really have the strength to talk about him anymore now, or about the accident.
Fate is not an accident, Laura.
I'll take that amulet with me until Max comes back.
Wiecie co? Wydaje mi się, bo spójrzmy na ten amulet. No ewidentnie mamy tutaj jakieś słońce i księżyc. Obstawiam, że ten amulet powodował, że Max miał tę wizję. Nie wiem, być może jest to jakiś amulet voodoo albo coś takiego. Ale teraz, kiedy pozbył się amuletu, być może wróci do siebie. A to Lara będzie miała wizję.
Our beautiful and newly restored flat. Now empty and silent. Zenzele is probably right. I should try to find out what Max was thinking before he disappeared.
Okej, powróciliśmy do swojego mieszkania we Francji. Słuchajcie, moi drodzy, w tym momencie zakończymy ten odcineczek. Mam nadzieję, że wam się podobał. Dzięki wielkie za uwagę. Trzymajcie się i do usłyszenia. Hej!